Hey, this is Daryl from the Anglers All crew, and I am down in our fly tying studio tying up a Sexy Waltz. That's right, a trout bug, and a pretty productive one at that. So tune in, we're gonna spin this up on an umpqua hook with a jig bomb. It's gonna ride hook up and crush some fish for you. Let's go tie a bug. I'm gonna start off with some Semperfli 50 denier in tan, and I will be adding some lead-free weight to this. However, I'm going to go ahead and organize and control my jig bomb head. That is a 3mm jig bomb head and an X Series Super Jig 60 in a size 14. It's a great combo. So this little jig bomb head, I'm just trying to lock in just a little bit, just so it doesn't fall left or right on me when I start putting that lead-free wire in, and that way a little more organized. I went with the lead-free because I have a tungsten bead on there, and it's already gonna get down like James Brown. I don't need all of that weight on a 14. So I like to pace out all of my wraps right on the glue, right up to the bead head. That way everything's pretty much invited to the party and they're not gonna move on me. Now I do have 50 denier thread. Please feel free to use 70 here if that's your jam, uni or UTC. They will both fit the bill just perfectly. Camel, tan, even a brown if you want to do something with a little two-tone action. Knock yourself out, that's a dealer's choice. However, I am working with 50 denier, so I want to make sure that I'm aware of wrapping over these lead wraps and not splaying them. So I'm going to go diagonal with my wraps over the top to lay a foundation. And then after that, I can go over them with some gentle wraps and then really kind of lay on them. So you can see here, I'm pretty darn happy with that. That's a pretty darn good taper, nice and smooth. So we're gonna tie in some flash and a rib. This is small opal. So by the way, like knock yourself out here again. If you wanna use the ice blue, if you wanna use something like the prism or the silver, it's a Sexy Waltz for a reason. So if you wanna make it sexy on your own accord, change up your flash. If it's after hours, you can't get to a fly shop and you have Flashaboo, grab a piece of Flashaboo. I got some tippet here. This is 4X tippet. We all pretty much have something laying around or in the car or in your bag, 4 or 5X size. What this is gonna do, and I'm tying this on the other side of the hook shank, so they're on opposite sides. What this will be is a counter rib. And at the end of the day, this is gonna help keep the integrity of our flash. So as we catch more and more toothy brown trout with this fly, you're gonna be able to keep some of this flash intact because this rib will hold it in place. So we've got both of our ribs, our initial and our counter, tied in. We've got our whole chassis built and tapered properly. So now we just get to dub it and fish it. I'm gonna use some Nature Spirit Hair's Mask. It's really soft, got guard hair. Knock yourself out here. There's gonna be plenty of hair's ear dubbing out there for you to use. I just do like the softness and the bugginess of this particular dub. So pretty straightforward dubbing rope. We're just gonna spin it on here. I like to be able to I definitely wanna make sure that I can see my thread at some point and it's just not too bulky. And we're gonna start at the back and we're just gonna wrap forward and follow the taper that we've already built. You can get really, really good tight dubbing ropes with a little bit of water on your finger. I keep a sponge nearby. You can just dab it. Nice, controllable dubbing rope there. And we're gonna leave a little bit of space there for our hot spot. We are about 5 wraps shy where I wanna be there. I'm gonna nerd out and tell you how many wraps. We're just a little bit of dubbing shy. Let's just do that. I wanna make sure there's a little bit of taper here on the front side of this. All right, so now we're gonna take our flash and wrap it one way. We're gonna tie that off. And we'll come back the opposite direction with our tippet. We certainly don't need 4 feet of tippet, so I'm going to cut that shorter. And by counter ribbing, we're going to give a little more durability to our fly at the end of the day. Now, we hot spot and we fish. I'm going to use number 5 Glow Bright, and I like to make sure that I don't get too carried away in my wraps, and then we still have a whip to do. So I'm going to add a little bit of zap here. Actually, that's too much. So instead of over zapping my bug, dry off my brush and just take that up. So I'm going to give it a little bit, get the zap on a thread, and then I'm going to whip, and we will be out, and our hot spot will be built, and our fly will be ready to fish. I'm going to share with you one of the best tools in the trade. Bam! Velcro popsicle stick. Go ahead and give the bug a once over, kind of give it some legs. And trim that little bit of thread there so that your OCD does not drive you crazy when you fish it. And there you go, that's Sexy Walt's. You can certainly change up the color of that hot spot, make it a beige tanny, or your hare's ear can be beige, it can be olive, it can be purple, brown, all dealer's choice. But get it out there with some flash and a counter rib, it'll last a lot longer. Tie them up or buy them up. Sexy Walt's.